So here's Tulsi went on this show, and I think it was a podcast. It's called Outkick the Coverage with Clay Travis. That's the name of it. And they brought up, they were talking about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden at the debates, and she took the gloves off with Kamala Harris. So here we go.
I saw, and I enjoy going through your Twitter feed and trying to keep tabs on exactly what's going on. One of the biggest storylines that came out of the first debate was Senator Harris's attack on Joe Biden surrounding busing. You're around my age. I'm 40 years old. You are 38 years old, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Those are really kind of ancient debates for people who are around our age and younger. Did that seem like a fair discussion to you? And it obviously took up almost all of the oxygen that came out of the first two nights of the debate.
No, it didn't. But, I think I'll leave that battle to Biden and Harris. I think one of the things that I'm most concerned with is, Kamala Harris is not qualified to serve as commander-in-chief. And I can say this from a personal perspective as a soldier. She's got no background or experience in foreign policy, and she lacks the temperament that is necessary for a commander-in-chief. I've seen the cost of war firsthand. I've experienced the consequences of what happens when we have presidents, as we have, from both political parties in the White House who lack experience, who lack that foreign policy understanding, who therefore fall under the influence of the foreign policy establishments and military-industrial complex. This is what's so dangerous. This is what we've seen occurring over time. If you look at the wasteful regime change wars that have been waged in countries like Iraq, Libya, Syria, there are so many different examples. These are wasteful wars that have strengthened terrorist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, therefore making the American people less safe. They have cost us dearly in American lives, our service members who have paid the ultimate price, and those who have come home with both visible and invisible wounds. And they've caused such devastation and destruction in the countries where we've waged these wars. This is why, what to speak of the trillions of dollars that are coming out of our pockets to pay for these wars, dollars that should be used and redirected towards taking care of the needs of our people right here at home in our communities. And this is personal to me, as it is to so many of those who I served with, and it's why I am running for president, because I know that I'll be ready with the experience that I have, serving as a soldier over 16 years, deploying twice to the Middle East, of working in Congress for almost 7 years now on the Foreign Affairs, the Armed Services, and Homeland Security's committees. I'll be prepared on day one to walk into the Oval Office and fulfill that most important responsibility the president has, which is to serve as commander-in-chief.
Boom. That's all I could say. Huh? That was something. She just said it right out there. She's not qualified to be commander-in-chief. She has no foreign policy experience. She has bam. She's not qualified to be commander-in-chief. Well, we've had presidents that certainly aren't qualified before.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
I would say
that's
George
never stopped
Bush.
us in
Bush
the past.
comes to my mind.
Yeah. Donald Trump would be another one. So what do you make? So, by the way, there was a response to that, right, Steph?
Oh, from Kamala Harris's people? Yeah.
Yeah. Ron, what did you
Well, I think it's a very good thing to point out that the person who wants to throw parents in jail when their kids are late for school probably shouldn't be in charge of our foreign policy. I think that's a very important thing to point out. So I think
it's going to be
right.
very. I could be wrong about this again, but I think it should be very easy if you get into a one-on-one contest with Kamala Harris to take her down because of those videos she made about we need to build more prisons than we do schools. I mean, she said that.
Campaign Communications Director Lily Adams said of Gabbard, quote, definite hard pass on taking national security advice from Assad's cheerleader.
Yeah, that's their comeback. So that's their.
Well, that's all. I mean, that's all Tim Ryan had for a comeback too. I mean, it's just they just passed that along with these. They got nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And you tell me, what struggling American right now gives two shits about Assad?
No one. In fact, if the Americans do have an opinion, they'd like us to get the F out of all these foreign wars. That's the overwhelming majority of the Americans' opinions, is we need to get the F out of these foreign wars. But, propagandizing our own people into war. It started in World War I, and nobody wanted to get into that war. And then they figured out how to propagandize people, and in 6 months, they turned them into bloodthirsty maniacs. The same thing they did with the first Gulf War, Vietnam. This is something they do over and over and over.
I just want to bring this point up right now because there are these so you have this smear, a cheerleader. And you know what? Actually, Lily Adams, for you to even insinuate that this woman is a cheerleader. You're, listen, by the way, cheerleaders are
a fucking
athletic.
Soldier.
She's a soldier, and she also participated in the medical units as well. So, Lily Adams, I can't stand you. What an awful spokesperson you are for a campaign, because you fucked it up by calling this veteran, she's actually is currently serving in the military, a fucking cheerleader. Okay, the next thing that is interesting when you read these chats and people's doubts about Tulsi is one person said that Tulsi doesn't think there should be impeachment, and that's done for me. It's over. I don't feel like there should be an impeachment. I don't think an impeachment's going to serve anything. How about we, as a country, unite behind a candidate that's going to move our country forward, not divide us?
Go
ahead.
This is Lily Adams. That's Lily Adams.
I want you to notice her communications director, how much she has to say.
She's the communications director, Kamala Harris, dog mom from beautiful Austin, Texas. And here's what she has to say. Want to hear her insight, her great foreign policy insight over Tulsi's? She tweeted this out. Today's a good reminder. We could have had a freaking foreign policy expert as president. Would have been nice. She means her. That's who's criticizing Tulsi Gabbard. Her, the warmonger in chief. Yes on Iraq. Remember how she was an expert when she was a freaking foreign policy expert on Iraq when she said to George Bush, let's do it? Remember when she said, let's go into Libya? Turn that, the most successful state on the continent, let's turn it into a failed state, safe haven for terrorists and open slave markets. That's your expert. Honduras, that's your expert. Hey, takes an expert to turn a country into an open slave market. Am I right? So that's who Lily Adams is. And that's who these fucking people are. That's who these people are. They say shit like this. That's who Kamala Harris is. What are you, nuts? You think Kamala Harris is anything different than a fucking handpicked person from Wall Street? Because that's what Kamala Harris is. She's a handpicked person from Wall Street. Just like Pete Buttigieg. And guess who else is favored by Wall Street? Elizabeth Warren. I wonder why. Maybe it's because of all those times she never recommended prosecution for any of the fucking bankers. Isn't it weird that Kamala Harris is, Elizabeth Warren is now favored by Wall Street execs are okay with her? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. That was the headline, that she took a meeting with them. And yeah. Huh. Well, Jimmy, okay. I just wanted to go back to Tulsi right now because somebody else would point out that, people are questioning her foreign policy. And I just want to remind everybody, it is a couple clicks away for you to look at the legislation that she has proposed. By the way, so I just want to remind somebody, because I found this to be this is the thing that made me stop and start reading more and more about her. When she proposed the legislation called Stop Arming Terrorist Act.
That's right.
So that's something, before you talk about impeachment and you talk about torture and you talk about her role and that, I think you should go and start looking at a record. It's a couple clicks away. You just have to type in Tulsi Gabbard and find out what her voting record is. And you also find out what were the bills or what has she proposed. And Stop Arming Terrorists Act. Pretty interesting. Something that you should look into.
Next live Jimmy Dore show, August 2nd in Burbank, California. Then we go to Denver, San Francisco, Baltimore, Seattle, and Honolulu for Christmas. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets and become a patron or a premium member. We give you tons of bonus material and lots more. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com. Sign up. Become a member. Couldn't do it without your support.